What it do, fantasy people? It's Three Dudes Fantasy Podcast coming at you on a Thursday because I feel like that's just the day I can now record. Joe is here with me.
Hi.
How are you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm tired. How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm feeling you. Work has been getting to me.
Mhm.
But I am good, thank you. We're gonna have to change the name of this podcast to something like, Two Dudes with Beards, or Sarah keeps calling us the Beardo Weirdos, or
You go with that. I
yeah, we
still
could
think you
go
should
with
go with two dudes and possibly a third dude at some point.
Two dudes. We could
Possibly a
start
third.
calling ourselves the Eiffel Tower, and if you get the joke, you get the joke. Um, anyways, getting into this. So today we are going to recap. I have few little fun things we're going to change up. Nothing crazy. Again, we are still trying to grow and learn. I will say that last week I looked at it and like 9 people watched the video. There's 10 people in our league. So like I rewatched it. I don't know what's happening.
To be fair, I'm one of those people that did not because I sent it.
But
It's weird to me to hear.
your co-manager
You know
could have
what? Yeah,
watched
right.
it,
I
and that
should
should
go.
be 10. So
I'm
you
gonna
know
go tell
what?
Mike.
I'm gonna start putting in things in here like for Terrence, where I just go, "Hey, this is your keeper, and if you don't know it, I'm not telling you. Like, either
Yeah,
watch
it's
the
fair.
podcast or, you know, kind of nut up or shut up."
Fair. That is totally fair.
Anyways, let's get into it. So, like we always do, let's start with news
Yep.
and updates from the last week. So, obviously, it's been a week since we met.
Mhm.
Lots of things happen. So, I'll have at the bottom just kind of everything that's happened in the last week. We can talk about the fantasy impact behind it. So,
Sure.
Xavier Worthy trending towards playing. Again, he was supposed to play last week. So,
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know if I think this really just helps Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if this
Mhm.
really, and maybe Xavier Worthy. I don't think I'd play him this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really helps or hurts anybody else on the team right now.
I don't think so. It does either, and I'm kind of in agreement with you. It's his first week back. Kind of want to take it easy. Probably wouldn't want to start him unless like you desperately need him.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the Chiefs offense, I don't think it does much except for maybe Patrick Mahomes.
Bill Krosky Merritt or Ja'Cory
Mhm.
Krosky Merritt or, whatever.
Yep.
Second week or second day, he did not practice his knee. It doesn't look like he's going to play this week. That whole Washington team is hurt. This
Yes.
sucks more than anything else. The fantasy impact is you probably weren't starting Ja'Cory or Bill anyways. You have him. Were you starting him?
Not unless it was a flex. Like
Mm-hmm.
that would be the only time that we would be starting him right now, unless one of our shorty running backs got hurt.
Yeah. So not huge fantasy impact. He was starting to get more touches. Kind of sucks that he's hurt. He's become the
Yeah.
goal line back, but it's not the end of the world because you probably planned for him not to be one of your starters.
Yeah, exactly.
CeeDee Lamb out 3 to 4 weeks. This one hurts.
That's a
This
big
one
one.
hurts. He keeps saying he's coming back. So I think it's a good, personally, this is just me. Him being out 3 to 4 weeks, I think that he keeps saying he's going to come back and he even tried to go back on the field means that I don't think you're going to see a big dip when he comes back. So you're going to be missing him. But I think when he comes back, it's not like a 3 to 4 weeks plus 2 weeks of like him playing really bad. I think honestly, this has a huge impact on Jake Ferguson and George Pickens. I think these guys are massive plays for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
I would definitely agree with that because I know in a different league I picked up Ferguson just because I played tight end roulette this year. So, and he was somehow available. So I was like, well, why not? And I started him. So,
yeah, great call. Jaden Daniels is limited. So fingers crossed, right? I hope he plays. Honestly, I think all this does is if Jaden Daniels doesn't play and you're playing quarterback roulette, I think you start Marcus Mariota. He looked fantastic last week. If you're the Jaden Daniels owner, you're stoked. You're playing him. If he plays, you play him. If not, I'm good with playing Marcus Mariota.
I would agree.
Next is Terry McLaurin did not practice with his quad injury. It's not looking good that he's going to play. 2 did not practices in a row. Quads, especially for wide receivers, that sucks. Probably just means that Debo's going to have another big role.
Yep.
And maybe Zach Ertz. You're probably stoked if you picked up Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the uptick on Debo, and then I think Ertz gets a bigger uptick with his kind of targets and stuff like that. Especially if Mariota's gonna play. I mean,
yeah. No, I agree.
mean, we have McLaurin, so yeah, it hurts. It hurts us. So.
You guys you're dying here. Mike Evans did not practice with his hamstring, so this one is a weird one. I try to find more information. I went to Adam Schefter. I looked through Yahoo. I kind of searched everywhere. Sleeper. He hasn't been listed as out a few weeks. Nobody actually knows the extent of this injury. He's listed as doubtful, so most likely he's not going to play this week. And if we use injury history, last year he was out with a hamstring injury for 3 weeks. So maybe it's another 3, but there's no definitive line.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
I think all this really means is Emeka Egbuka to the moon.
Yeah. Unless Godwin plays, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's
even if he plays, but yeah.
Yeah, so we can get into that one. I have that one near the end. Chris Godwin was a full participant yesterday, but then did not practice today. So nobody has any more information if it was just a limited practice, like they 100% planned this, or if he had a setback. There's no new news out on that. So I think Chris Godwin is keep an eye on it. But I think even if Chris Godwin comes back, him not having a practice today shows that they still don't believe he's fully back.
Yeah, either that or they took today to rest him, and then tomorrow will probably be the real test. But
usually,
either way, well, go ahead.
Usually, if they have a did not practice, like if they were resting him, it would have been limited. I'm hoping it was nothing big if it was a setback, but I still think Emeka Egbuka, all that tells me is Chris Godwin's not going to get a full snap count.
Yeah.
So Emeka Egbuka is probably going to have a pretty big role. I think it actually Emeka Egbuka huge. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Baker Mayfield maybe downgraded a spot or two. I'm not saying massive, but maybe instead of, quarterback 7, he's quarterback 8 or 9.
I mean, then that doesn't really scare me if he goes down from 1 rank to from 7 to 8.
You might be able to argue like Marcus Mariota might be higher than him just because they have an easier matchup. You're splitting hairs here, but just, if you drafted another quarterback like a Caleb Williams, I'd probably start Caleb Williams this week over Baker. If Chris Godwin doesn't go and it's just Emeka.
Possibly, because I would then look to the running game, because Bucky Irving and Rachaad White maybe getting some work in the passing game. I don't know. That's just what I would automatically think if Egbuka was the only one that was out there.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Juwan Jennings did not practice again. His ankle and shoulder, it's not looking good. I think this just means Ricky Pearsall has a great chance of playing. Brock Purdy's still up in the air. Then there's I didn't put him in here because the reports are everywhere. I can't. One of the beat writers said he's probably going to play, but another one says he's probably not. I don't want to, if you have Brock, you're just going to have to wait till game time, but you've probably made different arrangements already. So I just feel safer if I didn't have to start him.
Totally.
But again, Ricky Pearsall, I think that's huge uptick for him. And then Christian McCaffrey is just going to get 1.5 million touches. And then last thing I had on here was Justin Fields was limited practice, but he's still in concussion protocol. Obviously in our league, this has no factor, but I think it actually has an impact on all of the receivers. Tyrod Taylor looked significantly better for Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson than Justin Fields. So I if nothing else, I don't know if it matters as much for Justin Fields, but I think it does have a massive impact on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, totally.
And Breece Hall. I think that they're going up against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are terrible. I think it's better if Tyrod Taylor plays for their fantasy managers of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall than if Justin Fields is playing.
But then again, it's your team, so
yeah, we've looked terrible. All right, that's all of that. So let's get into week 3 recap. So Joe and I are going to switch this up a little bit. We know the biggest thing is these podcasts are getting long. We're already 10 minutes in. We've just covered injuries. We're going to talk about our matchup. We're going to go over everybody else's team, but we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. This week between you and I, obviously I pulled it out. I had an amazing week. I'm not going to I was second highest scoring team.
Yep.
You guys, your team, not that they're bad, just you had a ton of injuries happen during games. You can't really account for that. You still put up 126 points. Is there anything you really wanted to add?
No, it's just, I mean, with the injuries, I'm like, injuries happen. I'm like, that's going to derail you from getting the points that you're hoping that your players are projected to get. So I'm like, there's really nothing you can do. I'm like, we had a bunch of injuries. We have someone that's on IR. So it's like, kind of have to go with the flow and make adjustments as we can. And then we'll see the next week.
Yeah, no, it's, a hard week, right?
Yeah. Those happen.
So Aaron went and played Robert. Robert pulled it out. We kind of talked about it, battle of the friends there, the one who brought him into the league, and then he got beat. Aaron's only put up 112. Robert put up 135. Aaron's team is going to be that team, right? They're going to have a low floor, but or a high floor, low ceiling. This was a floor week, and most of his team kind of floored out. Jacob ended up beating JJ. So JJ moved to 2-1, and I got a text from him. I was on my way back from flag football practice with the kids, and I get a text of, can Lamar Jackson just throw one time to Zay Flowers? I think JJ was the epitome of all Zay Flowers owners last week. Zay Flowers didn't do anything, and it probably was just making everybody mad.
Yeah.
JJ still in a bad week put up 130 points.
I mean, even without Flowers doing anything, I'm like,
yeah,
it's still pretty good.
And he was missing Jaden Daniels. I was just like, oh my God. And Brock Bowers ended up with 8. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sarah ended up being the highest scorer this week. She went up against Brandon. So Brandon moves to 0-3. Sarah is, again, we talked about it last week. Sarah is I will have massive, huge 160-point games, and then she will have 80-point games. She's just been on that swing upwards right now. Her team looks great. She sat Garrett Wilson and she sat Jalen Waddle, which I thought were crazy plays, but she put in Elick Aomanor, and he had a great game. Chris Olave, Rashid, she made the right calls. Her team did fantastic. And then last but not least, the only 3-0 team, Ryan, pulled out the victory in one of the craziest low-scoring games again. Ryan is just one of the luckiest people I've ever met. Moving to 3-0. I can't say he's just lucky because he's still top 4 or 5 scorer. So he's obviously putting up points. But he has a bad week, and then he goes up against the guy who puts up 92 points. He beat Terrence, but Terrence was the lowest scoring team. It didn't matter who Terrence played. Terrence was going to lose.
We're going to lose anyway.
Yeah. Just fantasy sometimes, right? Sometimes I think we angered the fantasy god saying Ryan had the worst draft, and they're just like, you want me to prove something? Here you go.
Well, and it's not like you make the schedule, you let the app just do the schedule. So probably after that comment, the fantasy app just said, well, we're going to do this schedule, and here you go. He's going to win.
Figured out. Fun little factoid. We have 4 teams in the league that are not 2-1. So there's 6 teams that are 2-1. You have Ryan at 3-0, and then you, Terrence, and Brandon are all 0-3.
Yep.
The parity in the league is still fantastic. Because even with you guys at 0-3, the points for are still super close, right? It's literally just been close all week. I was thinking it would be fun to be able to see, last week, I wish I would have done this, and maybe it'll something we will get into if people are interested in it, is finding the closest matchup and being like your regret, or this is the play I bet you wish you made. But you couldn't do it this week. Everybody kind of won by a big margin. So
we could have done it when we played Ryan.
We
lost by 1.3.
Yeah. Or the week I lost to Robert by 2 points. I was like, oh man. So I might still look into that.
Sure.
I don't know. I just am trying to make this fun. I hope everybody's enjoying it. That's my goal. All right. Getting into this. So week 4 predictions. Joe and I are going to switch this up. I'm not going to preview the teams. Like, you guys know who you play. I don't need to preview who you're playing. I think it'd be fun if we keep a running track of going on from week 4, who we think's going to win, and then just keep a running tally of, hey, this guy, you're 3-1, like they do on Thursday Night Football and Monday Night Football and all those other places where I think X is going to win, or I think Y is going to win, that kind of stuff. The only thing I am going to do is I did reach out to Terrence. I asked him if he could be on the podcast. He's super busy doing all of his stuff. So I did want to ask him about our matchup, if he had anything to throw in. I'd love to start getting this from everybody else, but for now, at least we have this. He made a comment, and I kind of agree with him. He said, the only thing I'm worried about on your team is your receivers, and you have good running backs. I have no fear of your tight end. And I 100% agree with him. Like, I am starting Kyle Pitts. There's nothing to be afraid of with Kyle Pitts.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, other than that, I thought it would be fun, for you and I to just kind of to run through this. If you have the teams up, fantastic. If not,
yep, I do.
No big deal. But we'll start off with the first one I have on here is me versus Terrence. So do you want to make your pick on who you think wins this game?
Sure. It's the Battle of Miami because you both are Dolphins fans. Looking at the matchup, I mean, it's pretty close. So, I mean, I'll go with you just because you have Lamar Jackson. You made that trade. So I'm like, honestly, from this standpoint, like, if you have Lamar Jackson, you should be winning games if you're going to do a trade that you did, Steven. So, and it looks like Kenneth Walker's doing pretty solid right now. So
I'm still not convinced. As soon as I made that trade, Mike Evans got hurt. I swear to you, no matter what I do with Brandon, there's some way that something's going to happen where it is going to be crazy. And I told you this, and I truly do believe this. Mike Evans going down has concerned me that Emeka Egbuka might win the league. We'll see.
You just traded him. Yeah.
But I traded him, and then Mike Evans got hurt.
And Mike Evans got hurt, but you still have 3 strong receivers. I mean,
right. The curse is still strong, is all I'm saying. Unfortunately,
it's a year-long curse, so it's not just a weekly curse. So
I know I need Brandon to change his name off of Lamar Hazard so I can.
Well, I told him not to, so it's probably a good idea.
So, yeah. There you go. I am also going with me purely because it's my team. I'm not going to pick against myself.
I mean, you could, but
I could, but I'm not going to. Aaron versus you and Mike is what I have next.
Yep. So be us at 0-3 and us against Aaron. So, well, I'm kind of going to go with you and say that we should win because I'm like, I mean, we could go in 0-4 for all I know that could happen. I would be concerned with our running backs just because I think that's kind of our weak point at the moment. Our running back's not just putting up numbers. So, but in the midst of that, I know our starting running back is playing your team. So I'm hoping he's having a good game that will get us a W.
I have you guys winning this one as well. I just thought.
Oh, nice of you.
I think we have a little bit of an advantage. JSN's not having a fantastic game right now. Yeah. But additionally, I think you guys have just been unlucky, and it's very possible that you turn it around here. So I feel like this is your turnaround game. That's just my opinion.
That's fair. I mean, they're both 7-7 now, so.
And like I talked to you about, right? 7-7 gets you into the playoffs, and that's all that matters.
Yep.
Next is Jacob versus Brandon. So 2-1 versus 0-3. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. I'm taking a look at it now. I mean, if Egbuka has a big game, Brandon has a really great shot. But Jacob's team is usually very solid. I'm going to go for the little guy, and I'm going to go for Brandon. I'm going to go with Brandon. Brandon's team has, because the Broncos play Cincinnati. So I'm going for his Bo Nix quarterback and Egbuka putting up big points to give him a win against Jacob.
I would 100% agree with you. I think Egbuka has a great game. I think Bo Nix is going to be fine. Bijan's going to be good. Lad McConkey going up against the Giants could be massive. Brandon is still massively weak at wide receiver, even though he has Egbuka now. Lad has not been putting up stuff. And on the other side, as we talked about when we came in, Jonathan Taylor is on Jacob's team and he has George Pickens. I think those are going to be the turning points.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm going to go with Jacob on this one.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Brandon moves to I'm rooting 100% rooting for Brandon purely because I want more teams at 2-2. I think Jacob wins.
Okay. That's fair.
Just how I see it.
I mean, yeah.
Sarah versus Roberts. So both of them at 2-1. Robert has Marvin Harrison going right now. What's your opinion here?
I think this could be the week where your wife's team will score under 100 points. So I'm going to go with Robert.
I could see that 100%. I am actually going to go with Sarah's team here. Okay. Robert's team has been super volatile. His 2 wins have been close, and I don't think that it's bad. I just feel like this is going to be the week. I don't think this is the week Sarah's team falls on its face yet. Okay. She doesn't even have like Malik Neighbors in right now, and I think that could be massive. So I'm going to be a contrarian here, I guess. And last but not least, 3-0 Ryan versus 2-1 JJ. What's your opinion?
I'm going to go with Ryan because I'm like, why not? He's 3-0. He's got 3 quarterbacks. So, I mean, keep the hot streak going, baby. Why not?
The hot streak going.
Until he loses, I will pick him.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going with JJ here. So I think we started out the same, but finished opposite. JJ's team is just, it's still good. And it's still really
JJ's
good.
Is very good. Yeah.
And JJ has Deebo Samuels, James Cook, who has been killing it, Christian McCaffrey. He picked up Caleb Williams, and I love that pickup. Mm-hmm. So even if Jaden Daniels can't go, I still think he's strong.
Yep.
I think JJ's the play. That's just
that's fair. I mean, JJ's got a great team. I'm just going with Brian because he's on a hot streak and clearly knows more than we do.
Fair enough. He's still got all 3. I don't think Ryan's made a play yet. Everybody on it, he's getting Addison back too. I could be wrong.
Yeah. He might have known something prior to the draft than we did.
We all said, well, if he could make it through the first 3 weeks, then this dude hits on Pittman and all these other guys, and just Pittman, Chase, Metcalf. Like, what happened? What's supposed to happen? And he was right on J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Go figure. All right. That was fun. Quick recap. I mean, if anybody else ever wants to join, we 100% will go into your matchups more. I just didn't see a point in doing it right there.
Sure.
All right. So JJ sent me this text at one point after I made the trade with Lamar, and he said that I was the team to beat. And I thought that was an interesting podcast idea, right? Mm-hmm. Now, JJ, while I love him to death, dear friend, has always been the person who tells me I'm the team to beat, and he downplays his good team. I think he tries to reverse jinx everything.
Okay.
So I never take everything he says very seriously because I swear he's just reverse jinxing me. But I thought it would be a good podcast idea to go, who do you think the team to beat is? So obviously right now Ryan's 3-0. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean, fantasy is funny, right? It's a fickle mistress in a lot of aspects. And when we look at this, right, I'm looking at it right here. Points for the highest scoring team is JJ, but he's also had the most points scored against him, or a second most points scored against him. You guys have had the most points scored against you, which is where I'm like, fantasy can be weird and mean because technically you're the 5th highest scoring team, but you've just had the most points scored against you and you're only 3. But in that same breath, Aaron has had who has 2-1 has scored 368 points and has a negative has had more points against him, but he's 2-1. Mm-hmm. And last week he lost by the amount of points that he's like his difference, which means like he's literally won both of his other games by minuscule point amounts. So I wanted to get your opinion on who you actually thought the team to beat was.
Like, do you want an individual team or like a top 3?
You can give a top 3. That's great. However you think is good.
I think a top 3 is good. Like in no particular order, I think it would be JJ, Jacob, and then Ryan. Because
That's fair.
JJ's team like is stacked. Like if you look at his team
Yeah.
is ridiculously stacked.
Yep.
And then especially with his pickup this week, like you were saying, because he has Jaden Daniels, picked up Caleb Williams, really doesn't have to worry about quarterback. His wide receivers and running backs and tight end are solid. So it's like he is the team to beat.
100%.
Ryan 3-0, Mr. Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert himself. So I'm like, Ryan's team is pretty solid as well. I'll be curious to see how his team looks when the players that he drafted who were injured come back and see what kind of impact they make on his team.
Right,
and
with
then,
Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison. Yep.
So I'll be curious to see that. And then with Jacob's always been consistent ever since I've started playing fantasy with him. So his teams are always solid. We always lose to Jacob. So I'm like, it's like a thing in your league for us to never beat Jacob. So I'm always going to say that his team is very well balanced.
I agree that so if I give a top three, I hadn't thought about that. I had really just said one, and for me it was JJ. Giving a top three, I do agree, JJ and Jacob. My third one is actually Sarah's team.
Okay, yeah.
She and the reason it is, and not just because she's my wife, but it does help, right? Is I went through her receivers, and when she drafted them, I was like, I don't mind saying right away I'm wrong, right? Garrett Wilson has looked way better than I expected.
Same, yeah.
She has Malik Neighbors, and I actually like that Malik Neighbors is getting Jackson Dart.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so I thought that was, I think that looks good. Waddle is her third, but she also has Olave, so you could say Waddle is her fourth. And she has Elick
Amanor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Who has looked like a steal. He's been playing better than Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
So I thought that was a good one. And then even though she missed on Isaiah Pacheco, who you and I both loved, she still hit on Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren has looked fantastic. She has Jahmyr Gibbs, and she has Tootin on her bench.
Yep.
So plus Jalen Hurts and that tush push. You know, Sarah's biggest weakness is TJ Hawkinson at tight end. But is it really a weakness if you're just weak at one position? Like we always talk about, if you're weak at two, you're okay, and she's weak at one.
Well, yeah, because I mean, go look at your team. I'm like, you're strong everywhere except for tight end, and you can get away with that because it's the tight end position. You can plug and play a tight end depending on matchup, as long as you're So
well, and for me, I'm waiting for George Kittle to come back. So
yeah.
But when I look at my team as the example, Jordan Mason is killing it right now for me, and he'll be killing it until Aaron Jones comes back, and then I'm weak at flex. So I agree. I was excluding my team because I'm always going to be partial towards my team, and I don't want to be my team. But I love the teams I love are Sarah's team, I love JJ's team, and I love Jacob's team. Those are the three teams that I think have solid chances to make deep runs, or at least make the playoffs and be teams you don't want to face. I still think JJ's team is the team to beat, even though he wants to say it's not. I still don't see a weakness on JJ's team.
No, I don't either. Not at all.
And that's hard to say, like to say he's not the front runner when I can't say there's a weakness. JJ's biggest weakness is T. Higgins, but even if we say that about JJ's team, he has made the right moves. I'm pulling it up right here. So
yeah, I'm looking at it right now too.
He still has Zay Flowers, Deebo Samuels. He still got Brock Bowers, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, and then he still got Tet McMillan, who has looked fantastic, and Jawan Jennings coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, T. Higgins might be his weakest spot, but it's not like we're talking about his flex. Like, and if your flex is T. Higgins, like, are you really weak?
No.
So I still think JJ's the team to beat. I would say it's JJ, Jacob, and then I think Sarah. I think her team needed to be called out just because I thought it was impressive what I was giving her shit for her draft, and it looks a lot better than I expected.
Yep. And she's your wife, so yeah.
And she's my wife, and she's listening, so I had to get it in.
Yep. Yeah. She's gonna listen to this too, so
yeah. Maybe. All right. So the way too early first round regret. So I thought this would just be a fun little, hey, let's put it in there.
Yep.
You and I talked about if this works, we'll talk about keepers next week.
Totally.
And then maybe we'll just go round by round, right? Like, oh, these are the regrets. Obviously, for everybody who's not in our league, we have keepers. So there are going to be players you're not going to see on here. Just like Jahmyr Gibbs as the example, he was kept. You're not going to see him. But I thought it'd be good to go over it and just get your opinion on it.
Sure.
With everything we know now, right? So we know Joe Burrow's hurt. We know CeeDee Lamb got hurt. We know all of those things. I think it's important to go, with what we know, that's a bad pick. Or maybe it's not a bad pick, but maybe it should have been the end of the first round. Or, just give your opinion on it. A fun little uptake. I like getting people's opinions. I'm trying to engage. I think this is a great way to do it.
Totally.
So I'm going to have you start us off. So first pick in our league was Ja'Marr Chase.
Yep.
What's your thoughts?
Well, right now, I still would consider him a first round talent. I probably wouldn't necessarily draft him as the first overall player because even when Burrow was hurt the year that he was hurt and Browning was still the quarterback, Ja'Marr Chase was still, not like elite numbers, but he was still putting up consistent numbers. My only thing is I wouldn't pick him as the first overall player.
Yeah. So do you have a few other receivers you would have wanted to take in front of him, or you just think like, oh, into the first round, you would have been okay with it?
Probably at the end of the first round, I'd be okay with him. If I was gonna pick somebody over him, it probably would either be St. Brown or Malik Neighbors.
I agree.
In terms of
honestly, I don't think I take Ja'Marr Chase in the first round, knowing what I know. I think he's a second round. Fair. I think I'm not going to argue with you if you say end of the first. I would have said early to mid second is where I would have had him. So I probably wouldn't have gotten him.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is you drafted Ja'Marr Chase, or you draft Ja'Marr Chase because of his consistency and high upside, right? That week that Joe Burrow goes down, he scored almost 40 points. That's what we expect from Ja'Marr Chase, with a floor of 20. That's kind of the reason you draft him so high, is because you go, his floor is 20.
Oh, yeah, totally.
With Browning in, I think his floor drops to 6. And so I still think, I 100% agree. He could put up 50, which is why you can go. That's why I would say, okay, I'll take him the second. But there's just going to be those weeks where he also puts up 6. Yep. So he's too big of a swing for me. The reason in my opinion, you take a first round talent is because they have a high ceiling and a high floor, right? So that's how I look at it. Yeah. But I don't disagree with you. If you wanted to argue end of the first, I just don't think you can take him first overall anymore with what we know.
No, I wouldn't consider him a top 5 pick.
Yeah,
that's where I would like 6 through 10 is where I would probably have him. I would be comfortable taking him there if we were redrafting.
Yeah, fair. Second pick was CeeDee Lamb. Do you have any opinions on that? Now he's injured, but
yeah. No, injuries happen, so it's not something that you can predict. He was still putting up numbers prior to him getting hurt, so that would be my opinion. Injuries happen, so you can't go into your first round pick thinking oh my god, he's going to be hurt. So
no, and CeeDee Lamb has always been super consistent. So how do you can't predict an injury like that?
Nope.
I still think I take him in the first, and being out 3 to 4 weeks, I think it just moves him down, right?
Yeah.
He probably moves to 6, 7. In fairness, that's where he's going in a lot of leagues. He just went a little early in our league because it's a 3 wide receiver flex and keepers. So I probably still don't regret taking him in the first. It sucks that he got 0 points in the game he got hurt, but I don't think I regret it.
No, not for him.
Next was Saquon Barkley. So I think this one, even when it got drafted, I was a little thrown off by. So, what's your opinion now? Do you still keep him there? He's not been performing up to the same level, obviously, as he did last season. And on top of that, he's had 2 decent games, 18 and 17, but his last week's game was 9.5. What's your thought?
I still think he's still a great talent. I'm like, I probably would have still taken him in the position where he was drafted, because I went into this season, if I had the opportunity to draft him, knowing that I'm not expecting 2,000 yards. I'm expecting 1,300 to 1,500 yards. Like the dip in his production to go down slightly, but not that much. I still think he's going to put up numbers near the mid-season, near the end of the year. So I don't think, like, in terms of running backs, I would probably have him as number 2. Now that we know what we know, because Christian McCaffrey would clearly be number 1, but no regrets taking Saquon where he was taken. What do
So
you think?
I with our keepers, right? Because Jahmyr Gibbs is killing it, and he
Mhm. Oh
wasn't he
yeah,
wasn't available. I think I still go Bijan and CMC ahead of him.
yeah, that's fair.
So he's mid first round for me. Bijan's been super consistent. The tush push is just taking so many. It's just, I mean, it's so
yeah.
obnoxious. It's just, it is what it is. Jalen Hurts killing it, right? With the tush pushes. Like the dude doesn't throw, but they'll get
I
him
mean,
a
he still
yard.
gets you the rushing touchdown. So
So it just takes away, like, Saquon Barkley has to score from 10 yards out or more. Anytime they get within like 2 to 3 yards, they're just going to first and goal from the 3, tush push, touchdown.
Yep.
I think you have to devalue him a little bit because of that. He's not getting a ton of catches out of the backfield. He's not had up to this point, he's been consistent 17, 18, and then he had his bad game at 9, which those happen. But he doesn't done the other part of it, right? Because he did that for me last season, 17, 18, and get a 9, but he'd also get a 40, and he hasn't done that yet. So I don't think I can take him that high.
That's fair.
That's just me. So I think he's still a first round pick. But he's after Bijan and CMC, or CMC and Bijan.
Yeah, and that's totally fair.
Who we're going into next. So Bijan Robinson. What's your, for me, I'm just going to I keep him here. I don't.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no opinion on me for him. I'm like,
Yeah.
Where he was taken, he's killing it, consistent.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't change his spot.
The only argument I think you can make is the next player, which is CMC. If you wanted to tell me CMC goes in front, obviously you drafted him a little lower just because of injury risk. So I'm still willing to have that argument because he's been getting a ton of usage, and it's very possible he gets hurt. But CMC has looked amazing, like with every injury, all of these injuries in San Francisco, and he's been the most consistent. Like, I'm going to get you 19 to 20 points.
Yep.
And that's with their team looking bad. They're 3-0, but they haven't looked good. I can't imagine what happens when everybody comes back and he starts to get like more open looks.
I agree.
All right. So this is the next one. I don't know if we agree or disagree here, but with Justin Jefferson, my opinion, so I'll start here.
Sure.
My opinion on this is I don't know if Justin Jefferson should have gone ahead of some of the receivers that went after him here. Again, Puka being a keeper, if we were adding in keepers, Jahmyr Gibbs would be way up here. Puka Nacua would be up here. And then probably Jonathan Taylor goes in the first round too. But I don't think Justin Jefferson is that high. JJ McCarthy's looked terrible. They are throwing the least in the league by a significant margin, and Addison hasn't even been back yet. So I don't know where Jettas goes. I don't doubt his talent. I just don't know if he's getting the workload.
I would agree with you. Like, I'm not going to disagree because the production doesn't seem like it's been there. But at the same time, like, I would, even though he's a first round talent, I would probably consider him a high second round talent. We are speaking today.
Right. I still think I take him above Jamar Chase, but not by a lot. So I think you could argue with me. So I have Jamar Chase in early second, mid second, right? Early to mid second. I think I have CeeDee Lamb that turn.
Okay.
So I think it would be for me, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. And I only have that because knowing Joe Burrow's injured, right?
Okay.
Because even I'm trying to pull up Justin Jefferson right here. So Justin Jefferson has gone 14, 11, and 12. He's been consistent, and they've looked terrible. Which I think means that he has the potential to have bigger games.
Sure. Okay.
But I'm also willing, like, I I don't have strong enough feelings either way. Like if you said Jamar Chase because he can have 36-point games, I'd be like, okay. But I'm disappointed in Jefferson, right?
That's fair. Okay.
Because I want more than 11 points from my number one wide receiver.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I would be the complete opposite. I would take Chase over Jefferson right now. So just because of the high floor and the high ceiling, yes, I know Burrow's not there, but Jamar Chase can have one of those games. Whereas I think Justin Jefferson can as well, but I've seen it from Chase because and this is coming from me. I've owned both of those receivers in Dynasty, and I'm like, Chase has always performed, even when like his quarterback situation isn't the greatest. So that's why I personal bias.
See, my opinion is Jettas has always done that too.
No,
Jettas,
yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I think that's why I trust Jefferson more because he's done it with terrible quarterbacking forever.
Fair.
Where Jamar Chase has massive dips when he doesn't have Burrow. Like he's more reliant on Burrow than Jefferson is on a good quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you can swing me into that opinion, into that thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, again, if we get rid of keepers, both of them are not in my first round. At all. Like they both fall into the second
round. Yeah. I mean, given with who the keepers were, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Right.
I would probably agree with you there.
Our keepers are completely they skew this a little bit. Next up is Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors I like this here. I don't know if I move him up, but I don't think I move him down.
I wouldn't move him down at all. I would keep him where he's at.
Malik Neighbors has already done what Jamar Chase has done, right? So he had a 12 and he had a 4. So he's had one okay game, one bad game, but he also had that 38-point game against Dallas. Yep. I think Malik Neighbors getting Jackson Dart. For now, I keep him here. You drafted him for those 38-point games.
Yep.
He's who we thought he was going to be.
Yep, totally.
Next is Nico Collins. I think for me, he's still a first-round pick, but seeing it who comes next, I definitely take Amon-Ra ahead of him. What's your thought there?
I am in the same mindset as you, clearly because we took Amon-Ra.
Right.
He's always been consistent. Unlike when you draft Amon-Ra, you know what you're getting, consistent. Like you're not expecting like 3 touchdown games. I know he's had that, but I'm like Mr. Consistency. That's why we took him. But I would have him over Nico.
Yeah. So my thought process, hilariously, which it's true and not true. It's weird. I took Nico because I had Puka. Puka is never a big touchdown scorer, but he's super consistent. I knew he was going to give me 18. Now Puka's been killing it. Fantastic. He's been consistent. He's gotten me like 20 points a game. The other side of it is Nico is that big play receiver.
Yep.
And I thought Amon-Ra was just another consistent receiver. So I wanted a receiver who would win me weeks.
Sure.
Hilariously, Amon-Ra's been that.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra has had, I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure last week he had almost 30. Am I right there? And I'm pulling him up right here. He has had, here's Amon-Ra's stats right here. He has had a 9, so he had a bad game. And then he had a 39 and a 20, right? So Nico Collins had a bad week at like the first week, just like Amon-Ra. I think his was 5 or 6. And then he had a 12, and then he had 22. So, he's trending in the right direction. Fantastic. But I never thought Amon-Ra would be the guy who'd get you 40 ever. And so the fact that he did it already once this season tells me, hey, that's the play. He moves up way up on my wide receiver. Like if we're redrafting and we get rid of keepers, he's my second wide receiver off the board. It's Puka and then him. So Amon-Ra,
I would agree.
Amon-Ra is too late for me now. Everybody else has either been in the right spot or too high up. Amon-Ra is the exception to this. I think he moves up.
I would agree. Yep.
And then last but not least, Drake London.
Yeah.
I loved Drake London. You and I loved Drake London. I really thought Penix was going to be an unlock for him this season. And it seems to be the opposite. I mean, Sleeper even put out, that he was benched for Kirk Cousins because of bad. Like it, and where it usually says the injury, it just said bad. I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
Drake London has just looked awful.
Yeah, it's been tough to see because you and I, both of us were really high on him this year, like breaking out, and it's tough to watch and tough to see.
Yeah, like it feels like Kyle Pitts almost, right? Like we have these high expectations for him, and he's just not performing.
Yeah.
So Drake London, I think he moves into the third round. Like I can't see taking him in the second. He just hasn't looked good.
I could vouch for probably be at the end of the second, but again,
yeah. I mean, I would have to actually do rankings, but you're taking the hope on talent still. Like it's week 3. It's a way too early first round regrets. That's the point. But that's how it's because I have him in a few leagues and it's just been
yeah, I do too.
Do something, please. I feel like that meme where it's like, do something.
Yeah, whereas you're up, I'm like, oh God, please. I'm sad.
Yeah, me too. I'm sad. All right, gentlemen and lady, for this week, that is it. Joe and I are going to end it here. We got it to 45 minutes, 46.
Kept it under an hour. Good job.
Kept it under an hour. I hope this was fun, enjoyable. Give me your feedback. If this is a good way to go, I'm going to keep doing it. I really am trying to figure out where we're going. I'm trying to make this fun, entertaining, and informational. I want people who aren't in the league to enjoy it, but I also want you guys, the league, to enjoy it more, and that's what I'm going for. And I don't know if this is it or not. Keep me updated. All right. Peace.
Later, guys.